Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 84 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Landy Pavlon. I'm Joe. He's Justin. Justin Hebert, how's it going?
I'm good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll have everything for you covered from this past weekend of motorsport, especially the drought Cup Series finale at Phoenix. The first time NASCAR's Championship 4 format had a race outside of Homestead Miami Speedway. Good thing it happened this year, especially with all that weather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The weather in Florida, I've heard it's been bad weather over that area. But Phoenix had no rain, a little sprinkle during the truck race, but perfect weather. It was not 2015 Phoenix.
No.
Like the Cup race that had rain.
All right. So continuing on with the Phoenix discussion here, we're going to begin with the NASCAR Cup Series race that closed out the season finale 500 kilometers at Phoenix, the 36th and final race of the NASCAR season. Chase Elliott. Wow, what execution this driver put together in these last batch of races. His fifth win of the year was the one that meant the most. Chase Elliott, after starting on pole, being relegated to the back after failing inspection, caught up like it never happened. He led 153 laps. 153 of the 312 laps was led by car number 9.
Yep.
And Chase Elliott picked up his 11th career win and, most importantly, clinched his first career Drivers' Championship. Congratulations to the 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, second-generation driver. Chase Elliott becomes only the third father-son combination, Bill and Chase Elliott.
Yep.
Joining Lee Petty and Richard Petty, Ned and Dale Jarrett.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott is also the fourth different driver for Hendrick Motorsports to win a championship, and his title is the 13th total for the team in terms of drivers' championships.
Yeah.
The first title since Jimmy Johnson of 2016. And Elliott joins Terry Labonte, Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson as drivers that have won championships for Rick Hendrick.
Yep.
He is certainly the future of the sport, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he showed his speed. Like, he started 39th behind everyone else. And he made to the front on lap 30, when the competition caution came out, he was 9th. So he moved up 30 spots till lap 30. And then he kept running in the top 5 and took the lead, led laps. The final cycle of pit stops, he pitted later than Joey Logano, but it didn't help. Logano pitted early, and he didn't have the best car at the end. And Chase ran him and down and took the lead and pulled away.
And that kind of execution is exactly what that Hendrick Motorsports team prepared for. We saw it at Martinsville. It was literally Martinsville times 2 with that kind of preparation and determination that the team that Alan Gustafson put together. Now, how about Alan Gustafson?
Yeah.
A longtime crew chief at Hendrick Motorsports. How close has he been to winning championships countless times? And now he finally gets a ring. We're going to bring Danny on board. He just joined us, so welcome, Danny.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we were just discussing the Chase Elliott Championship and how Alan Gustafson put things together only 4 minutes into this podcast. What made Chase Elliott stand out from the rest of the championship 4?
I think it's just the way how the track got to him. You know, it was just patience, because at Phoenix, it's a very short track and it calls for very short tempers. So he just kept his cool there. Also, Alan Gustafson made the right pit calls, right strategy, and everything. It was probably the perfect perfect picture performance for Chase Elliott, coming in as only the first only driver to not win a championship inside the championship for at Phoenix, and he gets the job done.
Yep. So Chase Elliott, like I mentioned earlier, is only the second driver not named Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson to win a championship. He joins Terry Labonte on that list, and Terry Labonte, who won the championship in 1996, just a year after being his teammate Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon was 24 at the time. Chase Elliott is 24 this year.
Yeah.
Let's get even more symmetrical. 1988, the LA Lakers, the LA Dodgers won their titles, the NBA Finals and the World Series for the Dodgers. And Bill Elliott won the Winston Cup, while Danny Sullivan, who drove car number 9 in the kart series, won the championship. In 2020, the LA Lakers win the NBA Finals. The Dodgers win the World Series. Car number 9, driven by Scott Dixon, wins the IndyCar Championship. And Chase Elliott wins the NASCAR Championship.
It's absolutely symmetrical. I can't believe it. At first when you really think about it, it's mind-boggling. And I had saw the tweet earlier, and it says, "Oh my gosh, it's similar to what happened in the '80s." So it's like that's crazy to think about it now.
Now, if only the Oilers didn't throw it away in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year, which they had a very decent team, they could have done what the Edmonton Oilers did in 1988 and win the Stanley Cup. But hey, it's just incredible to think about all the perfect matches that have happened from 1988 and 2020.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to say...
Yeah, go on there, Justin.
The thing I noticed that still people thought Chase would have broken it in 2018, but nope. This record is still... Bill Rexford is still the youngest champion, age 23. Nobody has broken that record. I remember they were looking at the youngest champions yesterday after Chase won his title. I'm looking. I'm like, oh yeah, Bill Rexford still has the title of the youngest champion in...
That is a 70-year-long record.
Yep, he won the 1950 champion at age 23.
Only the second season in history.
Yep.
All right, so let's move down the results. Brad Keselowski finished second, and he falls short 8 years after winning his first championship for Team Penske. Led 16 laps, started third, and with that finish, Ford clinched their 17th Manufacturers Championship in NASCAR. So congratulations to Ford and the Ford Mustang. Ford Motor Company putting really good cars together this year, especially with the 2 factory programs that have been just outstanding this year, especially Team Penske and Stewart-Haas Racing, the clash to see who the best Ford is. That's another topic on its own. Speaking of Team Penske, Joey Logano had a very good chance to win the championship. An early race deal that put him out there for stage 1, and Logano led 125 laps. He won the spring race here.
Yeah.
Joey started second. He'll finish third in the championship and 4th place in the race. And unfortunately, Denny Hamlin will have another year without a championship.
Yeah, like his car was not fast compared. It's like the same thing with the Gibbs cars. They were not fast. Like you had Hamlin 4th, Truex got 10th, Kyle was 11, Eric Jones was 22nd. So the Gibbs cars weren't that fast.
Yeah, and another year with Denny Hamlin not winning the championship. I was pulling for him to win the championship originally because, at this point, I got to give credit where credit's due. He gave it all he had. And, Chase Elliott's a champion, so congrats.
Yep.
Absolutely. And finishing 5th place, first driver that wasn't in the playoffs, how fitting Jimmy Johnson, after leading 4 laps and starting 26th, to finish off his NASCAR Cup Series career as a full-time driver for Hendrick Motorsports. Jimmy Johnson a very solid and just fulfilling fifth place finish.
Yeah.
We're going to hold on Johnson for a moment. Let's go down the results.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney led one lap and finished sixth.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick finished seventh. I'm actually surprised, maybe the lack of mojo, I'm sure, after not having a chance at the Final Four.
It's also, he probably didn't have that much speed compared to the championship four. They just put all their best equipment in those cars. They just pulled away. Most of the race they were away, except the one time that Kurt Busch led for a lap and then lost the lead. Yeah.
Moving down the results, Matt DiBenedetto led one lap, started 12th, finished 8th. A very solid season for the driver in his first season with
the Wood brothers.
William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. They ran out the top 10.
Yep.
Kurt Busch finished 12th after leading 4 laps and starting 7th. Kurt is expected to have at least one more season with Chip Ganassi Racing. 13th, Eric Almirola led 7 laps. He started 10th. Clint Bowyer, 14th in his final race as a full-time Cup Series driver in that 14 car for Stuart Haas Racing. That will be filled in by Chase Briscoe. Yep. Clint Bowyer will be in a broadcasting position next year for Fox.
Yep.
Wallace, 15th in his final race for Richard Petty Motorsports. And 17th, Christopher Bell, a send-off race for Levine Family Racing. Farewell to Bob Levine, a very respected owner in NASCAR.
Yeah.
So they're going to close their doors after everything's all set and done.
Yeah.
The cars come back. It's an unfortunate thing, teams come and go, and they're not the only ones this year.
Yeah, there's another team that is shutting down also.
Yes, 21st place, Ty Dillon, Germain Racing, and Geico finish off their long tenure together.
Yep.
Germain Racing won 2 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championships with Tom Bodine. They never seem to translate their success too well up in the Cup Series level, but they deserve credit for sticking around for all these years.
Which also, Germain, do you know what the thing was why Mears decided to leave the team? When they hired Ty Dillon, they couldn't always have Geico on the car. Ty Dillon brought Twisted Tea. And in some races, Ty Dillon's doing decent. Like, people say the Dillon brothers are rich and all that. I know that people still say that. But some races I've seen Ty Dillon run top 15 in that equipment, which is impressive. Like Germain, I know there's RCR equipment, but it's not a full RCR car.
Yes.
Which is impressive. Like, Ty Dillon won a stage at Talladega last year and at Bristol, which nobody expected. But, yep, Germain, they really did. They had some moments which I've seen moments where they're up front doing really well.
Well done for Ty Dillon. There was rumors he'll be part-time racing next year. We know the charter of Germain Racing has been bought out by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, and I think the rest can do the talking on that. But
so the question is, though, where is Ty Dillon going to go now that Germain Racing is shut down now?
That's curious because there's many spots that are still available, but it's just unknown at this point.
Rumors say part-time. We'll have to see. And lastly, Matt Kenseth, who finished 25th and started 16th in what is likely to be his final start in the NASCAR Cup Series. Kenseth was tapped to replace Kyle Larson in May this year after the pandemic break.
Yep.
And at the track where Matt Kenseth scored his final win in the Cup Series 3 years ago, he finishes off his career for the 2003 Winston Cup champion. So the final championship standings, the top 20, Chase Elliott, as you mentioned, Chase Elliott being the 13th championship for Hendrick Motorsports in the NASCAR Cup Series, first of Elliott's career. Ryan Keselowski, second. Joey Logano, third. Denny Hamlin will have to wait another year for that title. He's fourth in the Drivers' Championship. Kevin Harvick. No one expected Harvick to be out of the Final Four when the playoffs started. He finished fifth. Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Kurt Busch. Top 10. Austin Dillon, Clint Boyer, Matt DiBenedetto, William Byron, Eric Almirola, and Cole Custer. Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell. Top 20 in final Drivers' Championship standings. The Owners' Championship, top 5 just for teams. Hendrick Motorsports, Team Penske, Joe Gibbs Racing, Stuart Haas Racing, Chip Ganassi Racing in respective order.
Yeah.
Manufacturers' Championship, Ford, 18 wins and 1,329 points, enough for them to secure their 17th Manufacturers' Championship. Over Toyota and Chevrolet, they have 9 wins each. Toyota, 1,258 points. Chevy with 1,232 championship points. So think about the numbers here. 18 wins for Ford altogether.
Yeah.
But Chevy and Toyota, 9 plus 9, that's 18. 18 plus 18, that's a full 36 race season right there.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. If people want to know about, like, as you know, remember there was teams that didn't have one driver in their cars. Like, Ganassi was the highest team, like, to have more than one driver. They finished 22nd. Then Roush is 6th, finished a P23. And then you had the Rick Ware cars, 33rd on back. Rick Ware's 54 was the only car that scored no points this season. They failed to qualify for the 500 when they crashed with Corey LaJoie in the duel.
Right. All right. Rookie of the Year awards, 7 drivers, though, that was won by Cole Custer for Stuart Haas Racing. Tyler Reddick, 2nd. Christopher Bell, 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek, 4th. Brendan Poole, Quinn Huff, and James Davison. So congratulations, Cole Custer. A few predictions that were correct versus incorrect that I made. One of them was the Rookie of the Year, Tyler Reddick. I thought it was maybe Reddick altogether, but Custer had it.
Yeah, Custer just after the Brickyard. Custer got a good finish at the Brickyard, running up front, and then he made the 4-wide move to win at Kentucky, which nobody expected.
Right.
Man, honestly, when I still think about that, I think that's got to be one of the craziest finishes in NASCAR.
Like nobody expected Custer going outside 4-wide on the outside to get a win.
I was pulling for Truex Jr. to win again, but you know what? Custer got it done. Congrats to him, you know?
Yeah.
Right. And a few predictions I think I made that were correct. William Byron gets his first career win. Matt DiBenedetto, I had him winning a race this year. Very close. I think next year will be his year. Predictions here. Jimmy Johnson would win. Wait, that was tough. That was tough.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Kyle Busch would make the Final Four.
Oh, you did make that prediction. I remember.
Oh, God.
You did. I didn't put him in my Final Four. I said he would make the round of 8 last year. Like, for this year, I got that wrong. But you said he was going to be in the Final Four, but he didn't because...
I put him in the round of 8. For this year.
I did, too. Because I didn't expect him to be eliminated after the round of 12.
Yeah, and that sucks.
Yeah. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, they had a good early season in cars. I'm sure if the pandemic didn't interfere with the schedule and it stayed the way it should, they would have done better.
But Ryan Blaney, even before the pandemic, Ryan Blaney didn't have luck in the first couple races. Remember Daytona? He finished 2nd. Vegas, he almost won. Remember Las Vegas? He almost won.
Right.
Rob Chastain brought the caution out with 3 to go. After that, we had Auto Club. Remember, he was 2nd with 3 to go, like behind Alex Bowman by a couple seconds.
Right.
Right rear was going down, had to pit, and then Phoenix, he crashed out. So he had 2nd and then not good finishes. So Blaney just had the first 4 races were up and then down.
Yep. And Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson. Let's just make something clear. I'm not going to take credit for saying this because everyone else has already made it known here. Jimmy Johnson passed the torch to Chase Elliott yesterday.
Yeah, that was such an awesome moment to see those two together side by side after the race, coming together and embracing with Mr. Hendrick. That was just something. As a fan of Hendrick Motorsports myself, that made me tear up just a little bit.
Yeah.
It really hit. And think about it. Jimmy Johnson began his Cup Series career as a rookie. And Bill Elliott, who could have retired a few years back, was still out there racing and winning. And and then Johnson finishes his career with Chase Elliott in car number 9, like he did when his father Bill drove, not for Hendrick Motorsports,
but for the
Ray
Edward. Yeah.
And Elliott wins a championship. And in between that time, Johnson won 7 titles.
Yep.
Just to put numbers out there, Alan Gustafson, his best season statistically was, I think, Jeff Gordon, 2014 and 2015.
Yeah.
Mark Martin, 2009.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, 2007.
Yeah.
But he finally gets a championship. That is brilliant stuff.
That's awesome.
All right, so with the Cup Series finished, let's move along to the Xfinity Series. NASCAR's second highest level had a dramatic finish at Phoenix, Arizona, where Austin Cindric, the son of Team Penske team principal Tim Cindric, he won stage 2, led 72 laps, started 3rd, picked up his 8th career win, and most importantly, his first championship. And that title happens 10 years to when Brad Keselowski won the championship for Team Penske in 2010. And both drivers drove a number 22 car.
Yep.
For Team Penske with discount tire as part of the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, like
insane when you really think about it.
Yeah, which people were wondering, oh, Cindric, I don't like him and all that. But I remember I told those people, Cindric would have won it even without the playoffs. Cindric would have won it both ways.
And on top of that, you just got to give credit where credit's due. You know, Cindric is one of the best upcoming drivers out there in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, because people said, oh, Cindric's he wrecks people on purpose and all that. I'm like, he hasn't wrecked people on purpose this year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. He drove his heart out. Austin Cindric this year, we did not think he would have this kind of talent on the ovals. No. 6 wins this year, and at one point, Cindric won 3 in a row. He swept Kentucky. He won at Texas. He almost won at Kansas, and then swept the road courses at Road America and at the Daytona
road course
circuit. Yeah, the circuit where he said the 24-hour race in January, and he almost won Dover, and honestly could have won both Dover races just there.
Yeah,
that was a brilliant drive by Austin Cindric.
Yeah,
finishing second, Noah Gragson led 1 lap. He almost won the race and almost had a chance to be in the championship 4. Started 6th, but with that finish, Chevrolet clinches the manufacturer's championship.
Yep.
Brandon Jones finished 3rd, the spring winner at Phoenix this year, led 3 laps after starting 8th. Michael Annett finished 4th. Justin Allgaier, how close can you get? Another season of what could have been. Allgaier led 76 laps from the pole and will finish second in the final standings.
Yeah.
Harrison Burton finished sixth, which that was enough for him to win Rookie of the Year. We'll get into that a little bit later. Ross Chastain led 10 laps, finished seventh, started seventh. We did not expect Chastain to go winless this year, but sure, he has been close.
Yeah.
Justin Haley finished eighth, finished third in the championship. Chase Briscoe led 41 laps and won stage one. He finished ninth, a favorite amongst many. And Jeremy Clements ran out the top 10. Some notables, Mike Snyder 18th, and Tommy Joe Martins, who led 3 laps, retired, finishing 34th.
Yep.
Final standings for the NASCAR Xfinity Series top 20. Austin Cindric wins the championship for Team Penske, their second Drivers' Championship in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Justin Allgaier, second, his best finish in the series for the driver who's been in this level since 2009.
Yep.
Justin Haley, third for Colleague Racing, and fourth place, Chase Briscoe for Stuart Haas. Noah Gragson, fifth, Brandon Jones, Ross Chastain, Harrison Burton, Michael Annett, Ryan Sieg, Brandon Brown, Riley Herbst, Jeremy Clements, Alex LeBay, Josh Williams, Mike Steyer, Daniel Hemrick, Anthony Alfredo, Jesse Little, and Tommy Joe Martins.
Yep.
Top 20 in final standings. The Owners' Championship goes to Team Penske as well, with the Drivers' Championship, Junior Motorsports, Colleague Racing, Stuart Haas Racing with Biaggi, Den Besti Racing, and Joe Gibbs Racing. Manufacturers' Championship, Chevrolet wins that by 25 points over Ford. Chevy had
24 points.
24 points.
Yeah.
10 wins for Chevy, 15 wins for Ford amongst just 2 drivers. Think about that.
Kevin Harvick and was it Brad
The
Keselowski?
Xfinity Series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Briscoe and Cindric just winning.
Yeah.
Toyota 8 wins and 1,103 points, third in the Manufacturers' Championship this year.
I'm just looking through owners, and yeah, last place this time in Xfinity. I don't know why I'm obsessed with last place finishers.
Because you watch Brock Beard. If you haven't subscribed to Brock Beard's channel in NASCAR Man History, he is a genius for NASCAR content.
Yeah, last place was the number 25 ACG Motorsports entry, which that's a car that Chris Cockrum drives. They finished 44th with 3 points. Yeah.
Rookie of the Year standings, 9 drivers were part of it, including Harrison Burton, the second-generation driver for Joe Gibbs Racing, over his teammate Riley Herbst, Mike Snyder, Anthony Alfredo, Jesse Little, Joe Graff Jr., Colby Howard, Cody Vanderwall, and Kyle Weatherman. So congratulations to Harrison Burton. And, I had a feeling he would have made the Final Four after that those first 4 races when he led the championship before the break in March. But I have a feeling he'll do much better next year. That is for certain. All right, NASCAR Truck Series. The Lucas Oil 150 at Phoenix, the 23rd and final race of the NASCAR Truck Series season. Sheldon Creed, the showstopper. The winningest driver in Stadium Super Trucks history, ended up winning the 2020 NASCAR Gainer RV Outdoors Truck Series Championship for GMS Racing. Creed led 27 laps, started third. It's his 5th career win, 5th of the season, and the championship is the first of his career. Sheldon Creed becomes the second Drivers' Championship victory for GMS Racing, the other going to Johnny Sauter in 2016, And with that win, Chevrolet clinches the Manufacturers Championship as well.
Yep.
Very impressive. Second place, Stage 1 winner, Zane Smith, who led 48 laps and started second, won Rookie of the Year, driving for GMS Racing as well. 3 GMS Racing trucks made up the final 4 this year. Going down the top 10 in the race, however, Chandler Smith finished third, Christian Eckes fourth, 1 spot behind his teammate, and 2 spots behind teammates, fourth and fifth. Fifth place, Rafael Lassar.
Yep.
Stuart Friesen sixth. Friesen won the Phoenix race last year.
Yep.
Ben Rhodes led 1 lap, started 6th, finished 7th. Tyler Ankrum finished 8th. Todd Gilliland finished 9th. And Brett Moffitt, that is heartbreaking. He won Stage 2, led 78 laps, started 4th, and finished 10th, finished 4th in the championship.
4th, 3rd.
Oh, 3rd, I meant.
Enfinger finished 4th.
Yes, Grant Enfinger led 2 laps from the pole, finished 13th, and Carson Hosfar retired, finishing 32nd. But Brett Moffitt's call ultimately lost in the championship, Justin.
Yeah, like, he just had a bad restart with older tires. It was 60-lap older tires on his truck. He spun the tires on that restart pretty badly. People said it was Rhodes. I'm like, probably even Rhodes didn't hit him. He would have probably lost because Sheldon Creed and Zane Smith are like, let's just pit to get tires. And what happened on that restart? Sheldon Creed restarted 10th. Zane Smith was 9th. They dove to the bottom on the apron, made moves on the apron to take the lead, going towards the white flag. Because they took tires, and they knew the good tires would pay off, which they did.
Well, never doubt fresh tires, especially at Phoenix as a driver's racetrack.
Yeah.
Grip can put you right in victory lane, and that's what gave Sheldon Creed from El Cajon, California, exactly the same hometown.
No, it's Alpine. No,
that is correct.
No, he's from Alpine. Yeah. It's from Alpine, California. It's the same place where... Yeah, Sheldon Creed's from Alpine.
He also grew up in El Cajon.
Yeah, but his hometown is Alpine.
Just saying.
But
you know who else was from El Cajon, California?
Jimmy Johnson.
Exactly.
I'm saying he's from Alpine, where Cole Witt's from. That's his hometown. Yeah.
All right, so the final standings in the 2020 NASCAR Truck Series Championship. Sheldon Creed over Zane Smith and Brett Moffitt, 1, 2, 3 for GMS Racing. Very impressive season they all had in 2020. Zane Smith, Brett Moffitt. Grant Enfinger finished 4th, highest Ford this year. Matt Crafton, Austin Hill, Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, Tyler Ankrum, and Todd Gilliland, top 10. Derek Kraus, Rafael Lassar, Johnny Sauter, Tanner Gray, Stuart Friesen, Austin Wayne Self, Tate Fogelman, Jordan Anderson, Chandler Smith, and Spencer Boyd, your top 20 in the final standings. In the Owners' Championship, GMS Racing picked up the Owners' Championship as well as the Drivers' Championship over ThorSport Racing with Mike Kerb, ThorSport Racing, Kyle Busch Motorsports, and Hattori Racing Enterprises.
And I'm looking at last place because, I'm interested in last place. Peck Motorsports is number 96. They attempted one race at Daytona, and obviously they failed to qualify. And last place in driver's standings itself was Joe Nemechek with 5 points. Yeah.
All right. The Manufacturers Championship went to Chevrolet. 10 wins this year, and I believe all 10 wins were from GMS Racing drivers. Might be wrong. Almost 5 of them are with Sheldon Creed.
5 plus 2, that's 7. Plus 1 is Moffitt. Then we had Sam Mayer, who won 1, and Chase Elliott won 1.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so that is all.
Jordan Anderson was close to changing that in Daytona this year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Toyota, they finished second, 13 points back with 7 wins. And Ford finished third with 27 wins, 6 wins, 27 points behind in third.
Right. Rookie of the Year, 13 drivers in totals. Zane Smith won the Rookie of the Year. I was surprised by that, personally. I thought Christian Eckes was going to easily win this. Christian Eckes second, Derek Kraus third, Rafael Lassar fourth, Tanner Gray fifth, Tate Fogelman, Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski, Cody Warbaugh, Spencer Davis, Tyler Hill, Corey Roper, and Dawson Cram made up the 13 drivers in the Rookie of the Year, won by Zane Smith.
Yep.
I was blown away by Smith this year.
Yeah, me too, because I remember Zane Smith. He ran a couple Xfinity races last year, ran one ARCA West race this year in 2018, ran ARCA. He had one previous truck start in 2018 for DGR Crosley. He hadn't made a start in trucks. He raced at tracks like Martinsville and other types of tracks he never raced at all. And he did go good in those races.
Well, equally, I mean, DGR Crosley Racing was still a growing team at the time.
But like he won one truck race at Gateway, but he ran at tracks he never ran at, like Martinsville.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. And one more race that happened in the circuit at Phoenix was the final race of the ARCA Menard Series West Championship. And that was a pretty interesting race as well. It had the highest field of 27, which usually 27 isn't that large. But for this year and the things that came along with 2020 life, 27 was a very large grid. The ARCA West Series Arizona Lottery 100 at Phoenix Raceway, the final race of the year, was won by David Gilliland, the owner driver, second-generation driver from Riverside, California. Picked up his 5th win in the West Series after leading 23 laps, his first win since Sonoma of 2012. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy. Ty Gibbs, who led 77 laps, made it very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, the way how Ty Gibbs fought with him, I think that's a good battle. What do you think, Justin?
It was. Like, they were side by side. They almost doored each other on the back stretch, and people said, "Oh, Gilliland did that on purpose." I'm like, well, that's racing going towards the white flag.
Yeah, it's called refusing to lose here.
Yeah.
Like giving it all you got.
Yeah, because you're not going to let them go coming towards the final lap. You're not going to let them go. That's not racing.
That's not how this racing thing works, man.
Yeah.
So Ty Gibbs finished second, Taylor Gray third, Todd Gilliland fourth, the son of David Gilliland, Truck Series regular Jude Dollar, finished fifth, driving for Venturini. How about this? Justin Lofton, who finished sixth, made his first start in the West Series since Altamont of 2007. Trevor Huddleston, eighth. Corey Heim finished eighth. No, Trevor Huddleston, seventh. Corey Heim, eighth. Gracie Trotter, ninth. And Keith Rocco rounded out the top 10.
First ARCA West start.
Yes. Very impressive run, especially to get in the top 10 with the amount of cars in this race.
Yeah.
Very good. Harry DiSavino, the third, 11th. Joey East, 12th. Alex Sedgwick, the Euro Series driver from the UK, made his start in the States, finishing 13th, driving for McAnally.
Yep.
And 14th place is the big man, his first championship, Jesse Love from California, just 15 years of age, becomes the youngest ever West Series driver to win a championship, driving for Bill McAnally Racing.
Yeah.
Scoring Blaine Perkins when Perkins blew an engine on lap 67 that gave the driver his first championship. 15th place, Chris Hacker, Devin Dodson. 16th, Todd Souza, finished 17th, the longtime owner driver. Chris Wright, Cody Erickson, Bobby Hills Jr., 20th. Sam Mayer crashed out. He probably would have been part of that battle.
Yeah.
Bridget Burgess, second. Takuma Koga, 23rd. Jack Wood, who will drive for GMS Racing next year, 24th. Blaine Perkins. Unfortunately, Blaine Perkins fell shy of a championship, had that motor last the entire 100 laps. We may have seen a different driver hoist the trophy. Zane Smith was part of an early race accident, and Gio Scalzi crashed on lap 2.
Yeah.
All right, so here are some final standings here. The top 10 in points. Jesse Love, 513 points, enough for him to clinch the championship.
513. It's 613.
Oh, 613. Did it update?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 613. Then Blaine Perkins finished second with 588 points, 25 back. Third was Gracie Trotter in the 99. She had 582 points, 31 back. Trevor Huddleston fourth with 572 points, 41 back. Gio Scalzi finished fifth after having the incident. He dropped from third to fifth in the standings with 560 points, 53 back. Todd Souza sixth, minus 63 with 550 points. Takuma Koga seventh with 509 points, 104 back. Bobby Hillis Jr. finished eighth with 499 points, minus 114. Holly Holland finished ninth with 448 points, minus 165. And Bridget Burgess rounds out the top 10 with 383 points, minus 230 back.
The Owners' Championship went to Bill McAnally Racing with ease. They're the powerhouse of the West.
Yeah. Alex
Rucati's Sunrise Ford Racing. Bill McAnally Racing with Mike Kerb. The Souza family team, Todd Kelly Souza and Joe Nava. He's the owner that fields Koga, number 77.
Yeah, and last, for me, people that like to figure out who's last in owners, James Telford's number 17 that ran one race at the first race of the season at Las Vegas. They finished 33rd in the owners.
All right, here's some superlatives also that happened in the season. Rookie of the year, obviously Jesse Love. I mean,
yeah.
Rookie of the championship, you're Rookie of the year. The Bounty Rookie Challenge, Jesse Love won that more than all the other drivers during the season. Pole Award went to Blaine Perkins. Halfway leader, Blaine Perkins, as well as the lap leader award that also went to Blaine Perkins more than any other driver this year. Hard Charger award has never been won more than once between each driver, and here's when the award was handed. Johnny Borneman, the third, Gracie Trotter, Jesse Love, Gio Scalzi, Taylor Gray, and Lawless Allen all were part of that list this year. People want to doubt ARCA for having short fields.
27 cars?
I don't think so.
27
fields are only growing after 2020.
Yeah.
27 is better than other races I've seen. Like, I've seen races where we only have 11 cars. Here we have 27.
Right. Not everybody had the fundings to stay afloat during this time.
Yeah.
And that was the largest ARCA field across the 3 ARCA series this year, I think, since the pandemic.
Yeah, since the pandemic. Because Daytona and ARCA, like, for the opener, that had 33 cars. But, like, it's so interesting how... No, there was an ARCA race after the pandemic that had more. The ARCA race had 28.
Yeah.
Entry. One more entry than 27. They had 28 at Bristol.
Oh, yes. Well, that was a combo race with the East year.
But still, they still had 28. Here there was ARCA teams, like Vanarini, they were in the ARCA West race too. So it was interesting, which people don't say, oh, people could still afford teams. I'm like, even Carl Long said he kind of struggled That's why he's racing Xfinity Cup right now, to keep his team afloat, because the pandemic cost a lot of teams some money.
For people who don't like starting parking,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, MotoGP. One more race before we preview the upcoming events, and we're going to have a lot of discussion for this one here. Not MotoGP, for what's to come later. The European Grand Prix at Valencia, the 12th of 14 races in the World Championship for motorcycle racing. 3 races left. Just to mention, the Valencia Community Grand Prix and the European Grand Prix are both going to be held at the Valencia circuit as makeup races at the Circuit Ricardo Dormo.
Oh, that circuit.
Yes. And the last race is the Portuguese Grand Prix held in Portimao, Portugal. No off weeks. The last off week was actually last weekend. And after many close calls and heartbreaking near misses, Joan Mir, the Palm of Spain rider, finally won the Grand Prix. 7 podiums and 29 starts. No more dry spell. He is a winner.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, he's also the points leader, too. Alex Rins, 2nd. Paul Espargaro, 3rd for KTM. Takaki Nakagami, 4th. Miguel Oliveira, 5th. The points finishers, Jack Miller, 6th. Brad Binder, Andrea Dovizioso, Joan Zarco, Daniela Petrucci, Franco Morbidelli, Stefan Bradl, Maverick Vinales, and Fabio Quartararo, who had been struggling with injuries in the last few weeks, actually lost the points lead as a result. Just riding, gently to stay in the hunt. You finish top 15 and don't retire.
Yeah.
You are awarded MotoGP points.
Yeah.
So the rider standings, Joan Mir, 162 points. He is the championship leader. Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins are tied for second, 125 points for them each. Maverick Vinales, 3rd, 121 points. Franco Morbidelli and Andrea Dovizioso tied for 5th and 6th, 117 points in the World Championship. Manufacturer standings are as follows. Suzuki takes the points lead. It is very close to the manufacturer standings, just 7 points. Suzuki over Ducati, 181 points for Ducati, 188 points for Suzuki. Yamaha is 3rd. They actually suffered a penalty, which is why they have 163 points. They were to have 213 points, but then after failing to respect technical changes protocols from the motorcycle sanctioning body, they were docked to 3rd. And that also applies to the team standings as well. It did not apply to the rider standings. These are bikes, not cars. I need to remind myself. These are not cars, they're bikes.
Yeah.
The 4th spot is KTM, 159 points. Honda still looking for a win, 130 points. And Aprilia still struggling. They are 6th with 36 points. Now, in the team standings, where the penalty also applies to the Yamaha teams, Team Suzuki X-Star, 287 points. Now, Petronas Yamaha SRT were to have 242 points, but they've been docked 37 points after failing protocols. 2nd now, 205 points. Ducati team sits steady in 3rd, 194 points. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, 182 championship points. Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP was also affected by the Yamaha penalty. They lost 20 points, so they went from 179 points to 159 points. 5th in the team's championship. So that said, one more race. Actually, two more races left. One more race at Valencia. It's the Valencia Community Grand Prix for round 13 of 14. And then they'll travel to Portugal for the Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix and close out the season.
Yep.
You know, there's a very similar story here that we saw in NASCAR a few years back with a specific driver who was just close to winning but could never seal the deal. And yesterday he is a champion in the Cup Series.
Oh.
We are looking at, of course, Chase Elliott. Now, in MotoGP, Joan Mir has been so close to winning a Grand Prix, finishing on the podium 7 times, falling short, but now he finally reached the top step yesterday in Valencia. Now he's leading the Riders' Championship.
Yeah.
With 2 races left.
He has a shot. He just has to not make mistakes during the races.
But if Fabio Quartararo didn't have to suffer those injuries,
yeah. Yep.
It all would have looked differently. I think, to be fair, and it sucks.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to need those entry lists here. So we're going to preview the races.
Oh, jeez.
We'll discuss Formula One's return to Turkey after 9 years of absence. The highest class of drivers in the world will race in Istanbul for the Turkish Grand Prix. That's the 14th of 17 races in the Formula One World Championship. Then sports cars will be very active this weekend. 4 championships are closing their seasons. The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship have the 2020 12 Hours of Sebring, a race that was supposed to happen in March, moved to November.
Yep.
The 11th and final race of the championship and the fourth and final race of the Michelin Endurance Cup, a championship exclusive to endurance length races. The FIA World Endurance Championship will finally close their 2019-2020 season with their second 8 hours of Bahrain of the season. It's the 8th and final race of their championship.
Yep.
The 24H Series will close their season, their 6-race season, this weekend with the 12 Hours of Mugello in a 2-part race fashion. That race was supposed to actually be held in Zandvoort, but logistics wouldn't be suitable for them, so they instead raced the Mugello circuit for a 12-hour race to cap up their season. And the GT World Challenge Endurance Europe will finish their season at Le Castel, France, for the 6 hours of Paul Ricard, or the 1,000 kilometers of Paul Ricard, the final race of their season. We'll get started with Formula One. For the Turkish Grand Prix, a track that was created by Herman Tilke, the longtime architect of Formula One circuits, in 2005, a race won by Kimi Räikkönen. Last time they raced here was in 2011. Sebastian Vettel, who won the World Championship for the second year in a row during that period in time, he won the race for Red Bull. In 2011, Felipe Massa is the only driver to have multiple wins, with 3 all coming for Ferrari. Most constructor wins, Ferrari 3, McLaren 2. We'll just look at all the wins from 2005 to 2011. Of course, the first race was Kimi Räikkönen for McLaren Mercedes. From 2006 to 2008 was all Felipe Massa with Ferrari equipment. In 2009, it was Jenson Button who won for Brown GP Mercedes in their spectacular World Championship season. I mean, I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Yeah.
2010, Lewis Hamilton won for McLaren Mercedes. In 2011, Sebastian Vettel won for Red Bull Renault. You got the trends here. If you're a world champion, you're probably going to win this race. And I have nothing against Felipe Massa here. I know many people are going to look at me with evil eyes and saying, absolutely not. Felipe Massa is a world champion. Yeah, I get it. But
Massa never won
I
a
mean,
world championship.
I know he never did, but he was awfully close to
Yeah,
People,
2007.
2008
Oh yeah,
Brazil.
2008.
yeah, and like the thing about people saying about world champions is we know like there's two drivers that are world champions that most likely won't win. Raikkonen, he's driving for not Haas, Alfa Romeo,
Close.
and then you have Ferrari with Vettel, but Ferrari is still not fast. They're not the fastest team they're not fast compared to other years. Still proving, like, yeah.
I mean, there are different eras.
But it's just like they say we got upgrades. When them upgrading their car, it looks like the car's getting worse by upgrading.
Well, I mean, if you look at the World Championship and understanding that a 9-year absence might affect the logistics of the Grand Prix,
Yeah.
I think we can understand how the drivers and teams will face the situation,
Yeah,
like they've done for other races, like Imola, like Nürburgring,
Yeah, like
even Portimao.
yeah, like I feel like the teams that could have a chance to win is probably Mercedes because their cars are kind of OP right now.
Of course, they're
Red Bull is I don't know because Red Bull is still lacking on the straights, which is kind of a problem when you lack speed on the straights.
yeah.
was
But
saying
in the
something.
corners,
Don't go on there, Danny.
I was saying, yeah, the straightaway speeds for Red Bull is just like it seems like they're struggling a lot. But in the corners, I guess you could say they're doing okay, but I'm not too
Yeah.
sure.
They're decent in the corners, but Mercedes are good in the corners and on the straights. They're good everywhere.
They have the DAS system too, the
Oh yeah,
direct assisted steering. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this point, Mercedes is if people don't know, they clinched the title. The menu,
That was already gone.
Constructors.
They could have won that earlier.
but
Yeah,
also,
true.
and now after Max's retirement, only Lewis and Bottas could win the title. But soon, people say after Turkey, possibly Lewis could clinch the championship after Turkey. That's possible. Or if not, it's going to be after the first race at Bahrain. So
I heard that on news stations earlier this week, but this is not a political podcast. Keep going.
But Lewis Hamilton, like people say, oh, he's always been in the fastest car. I'm like, I always bring up the 2008 McLaren was not the best McLaren. He won the title on the not underfunded, but like underperforming McLaren. That 2008 McLaren was not the best.
He made it work. He really made it work.
Yeah, and he won the title in car number 22, and then Bun the next year wins a title with car number 22.
Brown GP.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, that's really interesting. And then people got to give credit about Lewis Hamilton being good. People say he's not good. I'm like, he's not good.
Or you're just tired of him.
People are tired of him.
Difference. Everyone said that about Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Everyone said that about Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Busch. The list can go on.
But for me, it's like I just say that
sport.
Like people just have to stop.
Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, Vettel's dominance. Oh, geez, I remembered that. And then 2014, Ricciardo outpaced him in the points.
That was the end for him at Red Bull.
And then he went to Ferrari. Then Raikkonen.
I'm going to be bold here, Justin, when I tell you the winner of the.
Oh, jeez, what a Williams!
No, the winner of the Turkish Grand Prix.
Oh, jeez.
We've had spectacular, crazy finishes this year, haven't we? We saw how Pierre Gasly won the Grand Prix.
Well, that's because of Lewis Hamilton.
Hold your horses,
He's
Justin.
not going to do that.
Hold your horses, Justin. Checo, winner. He won Turkey. Just watch. He's going to win the Turkish Grand Prix on Sunday.
It depends. So you're saying Racing Point's going to win?
Yes. It's their turn.
No, Joseph. We're going to continue the Lewis Hamilton domination with Mercedes. Lewis is gonna try his best to clinch his title early and make the haters angry. So Lewis Hamilton will win his 94th career win.
Hamilton can clinch the Drivers' Championship this weekend?
He could if he has to outpace him by a couple points. If Bottas retires somehow, we don't know what's going to happen. He might, or it's Bahrain. He'll clinch it, but he's going to clinch it at one point. But Max is out of the title race, so Max doesn't need to worry about trying to win the title.
Danny's thinking about this right now.
But
he's mute.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say a Williams was going to. I'm like, no, they're too slow.
Williams wouldn't win. They're too slow.
It's kind of weird. Nicholas Latifi's been finishing 11th. Compared to, it's kind of weird. Like, the first race of the season, I just see where...
George Russell.
But I've seen more Latifi running 11th. I'm like, why is Latifi always, 11th? He's sometimes 11th or 20th, but some races I see him 11th. He got 11th again recently.
What about some of the other teams? There are many positions on the line here. The World Drivers' Championship as well as the World Constructors' Championship. It is very close for third. The Renault factory team actually has it by 1 point over McLaren Renault. 135 points, just 1 point ahead of 134 points where McLaren sits.
And then Racing Point.
They're also tied. I can't forget about them.
Yeah. Yeah, Racing Point is tied with McLaren Renault right now.
So there are 6 drivers here. 2, 4, and 6 between 3 constructors. I have a lot more on the line. Besides just winning the race, of course. Ferrari better be careful because they might lose a position in the Constructors' Championship. AlphaTauri has the same problem Ferrari has. They just seem to fail to get double points finishes. But the thing is, every time Ferrari gets double points, the other driver finishes 10th.
Which is
AlphaTauri, they've had an 8th and 9th and a 1st and 9th.
Like this race was 4th and 20th. 4th and 20th is not going to help you get points. The thing about Vettel, I've noticed more about not Red Bull, but Ferrari. I've seen more points for Leclerc. Then you see most Vettel finishes is 10th. I just see randomly Vettel 10th or 11th. I'm like, people say Ferrari's giving bad cards, but I'm like, I don't know if that's true. But even if they did, Ferrari's just on the straights. The Ferrari has too much drag. It's still a thing.
Too much drag. They're driving with an invincible parachute.
Yeah, and they're I've seen other teams that are usually slower just go by them. It's not the best.
Yeah, it's really not.
All right.
What you gonna do,
Yep.
What you're going to do when Mercedes come for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a lot for Verstappen unless, he has a scare like that in Imola again. 162 points might be enough for him to secure third. But Daniel Ricciardo, now let's get into the situation of the Drivers' Championship here. Ricciardo, 10 points ahead of Leclerc for fourth. Now Leclerc's struggling with inconsistency, but his numbers seem a little bit pretty good in these last 5 races here since that retirement at the Italian Grand Prix when he crashed out. He's not failed to score points since. But Sergio Perez, unfortunately, dealt with 2 races being absent, both rounds at Silverstone.
Yeah,
could have been in that 4th spot or even better, and then not having, and plus the penalty that Racing Point faced affected him as well. 82 points for Checo. Lando Norris, 69 points. That is 13 points behind Perez. 4 points ahead of teammate Carlos Sainz. Now, McLaren has struggled a little bit in these last 3 races.
Yeah.
The best thing they had this season, all along, were their double points finishes that at one point had McLaren third in the Constructors' Championship. Now with McLaren struggling to get the double points and a few retirements here and there, especially the first lap incidents, but it's F1. You're always going to get that on the first lap.
Yeah.
It's not over for you McLaren fans out there.
And there's a driver that hasn't got points in so long in F1, and that's Lance Stroll. He hasn't got points for many rounds. Like, he hasn't got points since Italy, since the Italian Grand Prix with his podium. Other than that, I'll tell you his finishes after that. Like, looking at his finishes. His last, he got third at Italy. Then he retired at the, he retired out of the race at what track? At Mugello. He retired out of the race, finished in 13th. He got 13th there. Retirement at Russia, finishing, I think, 20th. P20 at Russia. He was not in the Eiffel Grand Prix because tested positive for COVID, if people didn't know. The Portuguese Grand Prix, he retired again. And he finished 20th in that race. And finished 13th at Imola. It's been since...
But he is Lance Stroll.
Yeah, he hasn't got points since his podium. And people say he's lacking. I'm like...
That's actually hurting Racing Point.
Eesh. Maybe this time. Maybe nobody runs into him or anything happens. Or he doesn't get turned on the first lap. He might have a chance to get points this time. And hopefully he qualifies good.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And for people that want to watch it, it's early morning. It's at 5 a.m. Eastern time. But it's better than the races at Japan where
True.
That
but
was
it's not like there's nothing else going on in the motorsports world. We have 4 endurance races happening as we speak.
Yeah.
And that's please, how's it going? Pretty good.
Oh my gosh, what? Oh, did you know what ESPN did wrong yesterday?
Yeah,
People
they called
said-
Carl Edwards a Cup Series champion. I saw.
Like, how'd you manage to do that, ESPN? Even if it was Jimmy Johnson that won the title in 2010, I guess that ESPN forgot. Because they were broadcasting that race too in 2010, so they forgot who won it. Interesting.
Right. Johnson won his 5th of his first 5 titles, all of which were consecutive. Something that was just unbelievable. That's like a video game.
Yeah.
You put NASCAR 2004 on easy mode, do that. Actually, season mode, because career mode, you'd still be in the back.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Or you do like NASCAR 15 and max out your car right away. That's how you'll win those championships. Or you play NASCAR Heat 2 on hard difficulty with still easy on any difficulty. That's a way to win 5 championships in a row.
All right. Time for endurance racing. We have 4 events that are actually going to finish this year.
Which entry are we starting with?
Start with the World Endurance Championship here.
Okay,
the WEC finishes their 8-round season at the Bahrain International Circuit for the 8 Hours of Bahrain. It's the second time they are racing here this season. Earlier this season, it was won by Toyota Gazoo Racing drivers Kazuki Nakajima, Brendan Hartley, and Sebastian Buemi. Since it was earlier this season, they'll be back. The final race of the WEC was a clash, that the ACO and FIA didn't want to make, but they had to with the certain situations where, many teams and drivers are off to Sebring or elsewhere. You don't usually see this too much in sports car racing, but in 2020, you got to do what you got to do, which is why you only see 2 LMP1s, both from Toyota, 6 LMP2s, 6 GTEs, and in the Pro class, and just a 10-car GTE AM class, which makes up your 24-car grid overall. Now, in terms of the championship, it's a lock. Toyota already won that.
Yeah.
The 2019-2020 FIA World Endurance Championship. So if you think NASCAR is the last championship before, COVID happened, it's actually the WEC.
Yeah.
And the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, the 24H Series as well, the Intercontinental Championship as well. So the entry list is up there. Like I mentioned, only 24 cars overall. The Drivers' Championship for LMP World Championship, the Le Mans prototype, 175 points for Buemi, Hartley, Nakajima, compared to 168 points for the trio that involves Jose Maria Lopez, Kamei Kobayashi, Mike Conway, all of which are former F1 drivers who have never won an F1 race, but they have certainly won almost everything there is to offer in endurance racing. But in the end, it's down to those three. I think it's a lock. Toyota already won the prototype championship. That's already finished. As well as the GTE Manufacturers Championship. Aston Martin Racing, 299 points. They clinched that at Le Mans back in September. The drivers being Marco Sorensen, Tim Alex Lynn.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some facts about this race. The first race, it was in 2012, won by Audi Sport Team Yost, the former Empire of Le Mans, driven by Andre Lauderer, Benoit Trullier, Marcel Fassler. Most wins for drivers were Toyota drivers, Sebastian Buemi, Anthony Davidson, and Stefan Sarrazin. 2 wins for each of them. They all were in Toyota equipment. Constructor wins goes to Toyota. 4 wins over Audi. 2 wins at Porsche. The old 919 hybrid won as well. They won once.
Yeah.
So I think LMP1 predictions are pretty easy. Toyota Gazoo Racing, but which one will win? Which of the teams?
For me, my pick is the number 8 Toyota Gazoo Racing entry, driven by Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima, and Brennan Hartley in the number 8.
Hey, the specs change after this one, so why not give a proper send-off to the cars that will no longer supply in the future? So I'm going with the other pick. Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, Jose Maria Lopez, number 7.
Okay. LMP2, there's 6 entries on there. Not usually there's 8, but the Cool Racing entry and the Graph entry decide not to enter, so there's only 6. Okay, I got my pick for LMP2. I got the number 29 Racing Team Netherlands entry of Fritz van Aert, Guido van der Garde, and Nick de Vries in the number 29.
Who do you have for GT Pro?
GT Pro, my pick is the number 97 Aston Martin Racing entry of Alexander Lynn and Maxim Marin. Yeah. Yeah, that's my GT Pro pick.
GTM.
For me, GTM, I have the number 88 Dempsey Proton Racing entry of Khaled Al-Quabasi, Jackson Evans, and Marco Holzer.
All right.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I didn't want to think out loud here with these picks. LMP2 is going to be a close fight between 6 teams. We have 2 Goodyear tires here, 2 Goodyear teams that chose Goodyear tires, and the rest are Michelin. So the Michelin tires, United Autosports. Remember, they didn't win the final race of their near perfect European Le Mans Series season.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the same will apply to them in the 2020 portion of the FIA World Endurance Championship. Give it to Jackie Chan DC Racing number 37. Open Tongue, Gabriel Aubry, Will Stevens. They are very undermined in comparison to your usual favorites. Well, at least for this season. They do better, they did better in 2018, 2017. But if you end on a good note, that's going to paint a really good picture for you come 2021.
Yeah.
And the lack of entries is most likely in part of the clash with the 12 hours of Sebring this weekend.
Yeah.
Fortunately, if you ask, no, I won't be there. I wish I was. But, life happens.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. GT predictions. The GT Pro class, I'm going to go with the champions. Nicky Tim, Marco Sorensen, Aston Martin Racing. GTM. These predictions are pretty interesting. GTM, I'm just taking a second here to look what team might be the best of this category. How about some gentleman driver experience? Number 57, Team Project 1 Porsche, Ben Keating, Felipe Fraga, Joran Blinkelman.
Okay.
They are nothing but solid. And I'm not taking anything away from Dempsey Proton Racing here. I mean, Porsches are going to be strong. The factory drivers of the number 77 car, Christian Reed, Ricardo Pera, Dennis Olsen might be out there pushing the effort here, but I'm going to go with experience. You need to be calm for 8 hours.
Yeah. I'd pick the 88. The reason I picked the 88, which I know there's a rookie, Jackson Evans from New Zealand. I just picked the 88. I feel like they have two. They have Marco Holzer, who is really experienced in that car. You also have Khaled Al-Quasibi. He's also experienced in the series. That's why I picked that 88 car, and hopefully they don't have bad luck. Every race I've seen that 88 car, they have some sort of mechanical failure in that 88 car.
Right. All right. With that said, let's also look at some of the championships that are not decided yet in the WEC, which include the GTM Drivers Championship, the TF Sport Aston Martin, number 90, Jonathan Adams, Sally Yolik, Charlie Eastwood over AF Corsa Ferrari. 8 points separate them. Emmanuel Collard, Nicholas Nielsen, Francois Perotto. I don't see too many people talking about that fight here. 8 points, 8-point difference. They were first and third at Le Mans after 24 hours, and third and first other way around for Spa, a 6-hour race. I have a feeling we're going to see something even closer. I mean, not as close, of course, as what happened in the European Le Mans Series. Virtually tied, and the tiebreaker was almost identical to one another. They do like a rollback a count back. That's what they call it to classify a champion. Yeah, I
was about to say a rollback is like Walmart.
Like an odometer, when you buy a lemon.
Like rollbacks is like Walmart. Walmart when they lower their prices.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be an interesting finale, I'd say.
Yeah.
At Autosport, they have won 4 in a row. Other than the retirement at Silverstone in fall 2019 when the season began, they have never finished a race outside of a podium. 2/3 and first all the way through here. Okay, so that's it for WEC. So the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship in the U.S. is the final race of the 2020 IMSA Sports Car Championship and the 4th and final race of the Michelin Endurance Cup, the 12 Hours of Sebring. This race was actually supposed to happen in early March, normal, when normalcy was a thing, but then
it was.
Then the world changed, and we couldn't have that.
No, and we were stuck with iRacing during that time with NASCAR's iRacing. IndyCar had their iRacing. The Wednesday night iRacing started in April.
Okay, but in terms of the Sports Car Championship, it's the 4th and final race of the Michelin Endurance Cup. The 12 Hours of Sebring is a classic race in Central Florida that attracts people from all around the world. It is a true icon in sports car racing, to say the least. It's part of the Triple Crown. People call the 12 Hours of Sebring as the Triple Crown of sports car racing. You win the Daytona 24 Hours, the Sebring 12 Hours, and the Le Mans 24 Hours. You are considered a winner of the Triple Crown. Ken Miles almost did that in 1966, but then if you watch Ford versus Ferrari, you knew what happened with the whole thing with team orders. But let's do some history here. 1950, the first race was won by 2 American drivers, Fritz Koster, Ulf Denchen, for the Sharp Coal car. Entry driven by a car that looked almost like a Woody station wagon called a Crosley Hotshot in 1950.
Interesting.
But then 1952 is the 12-hour race when the tradition began. And last year, the pair who won in 2019 was Action Express Wheel and Engineering Racing Cadillac. DPI drivers, 2 Brazilians and American, Felipe Nasser, Pipo Derani, and an Eric Curran, who won last year. The first Michelin tire winner since 2013, the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's a fun fact. So, in terms of drivers, most wins by a driver. Tom Christensen. Who could doubt Tom Christensen, the driver they call the greatest of all time in the 24 Hours of Le Mans? Tom Christensen matches that same success in the 12-hour race of Sebring. Of course, he retired. He's no longer racing, but
yeah,
all of his wins except for one were with Audi, and that's another story we'll get into. Renato Capello, 5 wins at Sebring. Frank Biella and Alan McNish, 4 wins each. And these drivers all have 3 wins. Phil Hill, Olivier Gandevin, Mario Andretti, Hans-Joachim Stuck, Marco Werner, and most recently Pipo Derani, who was part of 2 out of the last 3 years in the overall winning category. Actually, no, that's 4 out of the last 5. 4 out of the last 5 years. No, 3 out of the last 4 years he's won overall. 2016, 2018, and 2019. And constructors, in the term of constructors here, Porsche has won here 18 times overall, most recently 2008, after a 20-year drought in 1988, when they had a long streak from 1976 to 1988. They didn't win it again until 2008.
Yeah.
The Team Penske. Ferrari, 12 wins overall at this track, at this classic race. Audi, 11 wins. The dynasty, the Le Mans dynasty of Audi, of the Audi R8. 2000 to 2007, undefeated. 2009, 2012, 2013 with the R18.
Yeah.
No, the R10, the R15, and then the R18 TDI.
Yeah.
Nissan, 5 wins. Ford, 3 wins. And then these constructors have 2 victories at the 12 Hours of Sebring. Toyota, BMW, Peugeot, and Cadillac. These constructors here have 1 win. Crosley, Fraser Nash, Cunningham, OSCA, Jaguar, Maserati, Chevrolet, Chaparral, Oldsmobile, Riley, Chevrolet, Daytona Prototype, and Ligier.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yep.
So the entry list, I'm going to pull it up here, take a look, find which drivers, teams you best predict here. We have 8 DPIs, 31 cars overall, 8 DPIs, which contend for the overall win. 4 LMP2 cars will compete there. The 6 GTLM entries and 13 GT Daytonas, the class that consists of GT3 cars.
Yep. Huh. I already got my picks.
Let's hear them.
For me, for DPI, my pick, you said Cadillac only has 2 wins. They're going to get number 3 this weekend. This lineup, they're good at these endurance races. They won the recent endurance race at the Petit Le Mans race at Road Atlanta. This lineup consists of Ranger Van der Zandt, Ryan Briscoe, and Scott Dixon will win overall at Sebring. My LMP2 pick. My pick is the number 52 PR1 Matheson Motorsports entry of Patrick Kelly, Simon Schumer, and Scott Huffaker. Then GT Le Mans. My pick is the number 25 BMW Team RLL, driven by Bruno Spengler, Connor D. Filippi, and Colton Herta. And my GT Daytona pick. This entry is actually leading the Endurance Cup right now. My pick's the number 48. Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini of Brian Sellers, Madison Snow, and Corey Lewis.
Wow, those are pretty good predictions there. And we'll look at the championships after making our race predictions here for the 12 Hours of Sebring. But first, my predictions in the Daytona Prototype International class, the DPI category. It's close, it's competitive, but I'm going to go with these guys. Mazda Motorsports. We haven't seen too much success like we had in the past, but they'll really pick up pace in an endurance event for the first time in a long time. Number 55, Mazda Motorsports, DPI, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Harry Tinknell, and Jonathan Bomarito.
Okay.
Will win overall, and it will be close. Gene there, buddy.
Dill pickle chips.
I'll have to try that. Le Mans Prototype 2, the LMP2 class. 4 cars overall. All of them are driving with Michelin tires and ARCA 07 LMP2s.
And Gibson engines.
Yes, the Gibson engine. You're right.
Yeah.
My pick will be number 8 Tower Motorsport by Starworks, driven by David Heinemeier Hansen, Mikkel Jensen, and John Ferrano. I think they'll hold it together for 12 hours. And boy, that track's pretty bumpy too, especially for the prototypes. They're flat to the ground. It's a very unapologetic surface. I don't think they've ever had to repave at Sebring since the end of World War II, haven't they?
They haven't. It's really a bumpy track.
If you never known before, the Sebring circuit used to be an airport used by members of World War II in the 1940s, and they had this open land, so that's why the 12 hours Sebring was born in the 50s. GTLM class, only 6 cars overall, 2 Corvettes, 2 BMWs, 2 Porsches. Porsche's factory team will pull out of North America at the end of the year, no longer racing full-time in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship at season's end. I think they'll go out with a bang. Earl Bamber, Lawrence Vantor, the Kiwi and the Belgian, and the third driver still yet to be determined if they have one. But I think that pair has been just brilliant this year, especially after what we saw at Spa. They'll put a win together and cap off the season. 912 Porsche, it is. And the GT Daytona class, who will be the best of the GT3s? That's a tough call. Justin, I think this team, I'm still trying to make a decision here, talking my way into one, into making a decision, who I predict to win this race. We're going to go with experience. You know what experience is? What? Bill Oberlin, Turner Motorsport number 96 BMW with liquid moly livery. Robbie Foley, McAvern, and Bill Oberlin.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for saving me from mispronouncing that name.
Yeah.
All right. And now let's look at the championship. We do know there are still championships to be decided here. The Drivers' Championships, of course, for DPI, that includes the number 6, the number 7 Acura Team Penske car driven by Ricky Taylor and Elio Castroneves. They are 2 points ahead of Ryan Briscoe, Ranger Van der Zandt, whom those 2 drivers for Wayne Taylor Racing, the Conoco Malta Cadillac number 10, they lead the Michelin Endurance Cup in the final race, which is this weekend. So they need to work really hard if they want to win the total, not the total championship. I'm trying to find the word. The season-long championship and the Michelin Endurance Cup.
Yeah.
It's reachable, but they have to do the work.
Yeah, they have to have a really good race with their drivers, like the 10. They have experience. Ranger Van der Zandt and Brian Briscoe, and then you have Scott Dixon in the endurance races. That's experience. And Sebring, they won Sebring they won Sebring 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2017. They won the 2017 Sebring 12 hours.
And is there a shot? I mean, if you look at the Michelin Endurance Cup here, Whelen Engineering Racing, the 31, they are close. The 31 team won last year. They're 5 points behind. 33-28. So they could reach it, but then Acura Team Penske number 6, number 7, and Mazda Motorsports number 7. They're all tied for third, 25 points. The Michelin Endurance Cup will have a lot of interesting action on the Saturday. Now, in LMP2, the LMP2 Championship is a lock already. Number 52, Pure One Matheson Motorsports, Patrick Kelly, and Simon Trumer. But the Michelin Endurance Cup for LMP2 is also a lock. I think it's a lock. It might be, just depending points-wise, 40 points. They are 17 points ahead of Tower Motorsports by Starworks, which they won Petit Le Mans, but struggled to reach a podium in the other three. Oh, actually, they weren't even in the first one. They were not even in the first Road Atlanta race, the 6 hours. So I believe it's a lock in LMP2 for number 52, PR1 Matheson Motorsports for the championship, which they already clinched, and the Michelin Endurance Cup. GTLM class, Corvette Racing clinched the season-long championship. As Justin here is just enjoying his chips.
And the Pats are winning now, 7-3.
Cool.
They were losing 3-0 a while ago.
Yeah, I have Monday Night Football on my TV.
Well, at least they're not 0-8 like the Jets. Sorry, Jets fans.
All right. Porsche leads the Michelin Endurance Cup with 29 points over 31 points over the 911 Porsche, over the 912 Porsche. 3-point difference. And then BMW Team RLL, number 24 points in the Michelin Endurance Cup. While the season-long GTLM championship is over, there's still a fight for second that hunt. 4 Corvette, 24 BMW, 290 points each. But the Michelin Endurance Cup is going to be a very strong fight for honors here. Can Porsche complete a 1-2 run, or will BMW slice the 2 cars and take second, possibly, or even better, first?
They might. They have a good shot.
And lastly, the GT Daytona Championship. It is Meyershank Racing with Curb Agajanian leading over the Wright Motorsports Porsche, the number 86 Acura, over the number 16 Porsche. That's almost a 10-point difference. 9 points. Actually, no, that's...
What is it? What's the number?
258, 249. It's 9 points.
Yeah, that's 9 points.
I was at myself. Wright Motorsports Porsche, they caught up really well the second here. Aim Baxter Sullivan, Lexus number 14. They did clinch. They won the Sprint Cup, the WeatherTech Sprint Cup, which is an exclusive championship for that class and in the sprint races only.
Yeah.
We'll let him finish throwing out his chips here and continue.
I had to close my door because it opened somehow.
You ate those chips so loud it could have that would have been like perfect Saturday Night Live comedy. All right. Aim Baxter Sullivan, like I mentioned, they already clinched the WeatherTech Sprint Cup Championship, but the Michelin Endurance Cup is still up for grabs here. 246 points in the season-long championship. I think they still have enough points mathematically to catch the NSX number 86. I don't think it'll be enough. But the Michelin Endurance Cup, it's the 48 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini Huracan, first, second, and 7th. So they are 11. I would say they're 12 points ahead of. No, they're 11 points over the 86 Acura. Actually, 9 points. I don't know what I'm saying here. Yeah, because they finished 7th at Atlanta and didn't get the podium that they needed. And then, but then Acura number 86, they struggled too. So it was like a double whammy for them. But here's the thing: you also have the Scuderia Corsa number 63 Ferrari and the 44 GRT Magnus Racing. They're in a 3-way tie for second in the Michelin Endurance Cup.
Yep.
And then third is the number 14 Aim Baxter Sullivan Lexus, 23 points. I don't think they can reach
the
Lamborghini number 48 Paul Miller Racing.
Yeah.
It's going to be close, for multiple reasons in this championship. If the 86 team can win both the season-long and the Michelin Endurance Cup, it would be a spectacular miracle. I think they have a better chance of winning the season-long points championship. But in the end, the best will win, and that's what we know with endurance racing. There's also 3 more championships in the IMSA WeatherTech series that isn't decided yet. The manufacturer standings: Acura, DPI. In DPI, there's 3 manufacturers that are fighting for a championship. It's close, 262 points in the season-long championship. 1 point back is Cadillac, 261 points, and Mazda, 249 points. In the Endurance Cup, Cadillac holds that honor, 44 points, but it's reachable. Acura has 38 points here. 34 points, 10 points back in the Michelin Endurance Cup is Mazda.
Yeah.
Can Acura hold on? It's the season-long title.
It's going to be close because the Cadillacs have been strong at these endurance races. You have the number 10, you have the 31, then you have the Mustang sampling JDC number 5, plus the 85. So you have 4 Cadillacs there that are always strong at endurance races. And then you have the 2 Acuras and 2 Mazdas competing against more Cadillacs, but the Cadillacs might be good because they're good at the endurance races.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially Wayne Taylor racing.
Yeah.
Cadillac. They do switch over to the Honda program, and they'll be running Acura DPIs in 2021.
Yep.
All right. GTLM Corvette is a lock. I mean, they are 18 points ahead of BMW, the manufacturer standings, but in the team standings, they already won the championship there.
Yeah.
Over BMW. I don't know why I said Acura.
I was about to say Acura's not racing in GTLMs. Never knew they did.
Well, they're going to need some more GTEs in the future if they want to keep that class alive anyways.
Yeah, because we only have Porsche's going to be gone, so it'll be Chevy and BMW. If Porsche's not running all races, like you're going to see some entries. 4 entries, Chevy versus the Chevrolet versus BMW, which is not a lot.
That's the part in all this. They could come right in.
There's Risi Competizione, who only runs 1 race, Daytona. That's their only race that's 62 runs.
All right, let's just go back here in the Michelin Endurance Cup. It is a 4-point deficit in the Michelin Endurance Cup from BMW and Porsche. I think Porsche could make something out of this. But in the end, there's so many championships out there. You win one without noticing, or you lose one without noticing.
Yeah.
You pinpoint the championship you're going for. In the end, it's a 12-hour race.
Yep.
And that's what just matters. I know I said in the end like 10,000 times, but I'm running out of words because I'm tired. And lastly, the GTD category. It is Lexus in the manufacturer standings, 277 points with their RCF GT3 efforts compared to the Acura NSX GT3, which lead the team's championship, Meyer Shank, Karbagajanian, number 86, 269 points for Acura. Lexus won the WeatherTech Sprint Cup. I already mentioned that. But the championship in the Michelin Endurance Cup is Lamborghini, 38 points. That is 11 points over Acura, 27 points. I think Lamborghini is going to hold on to this thing in the Endurance Cup.
Yeah.
But in the season-long championship, Lexus just needs a consistent finish over the 2 Acuras, which is a tall order.
Yeah.
So strong.
Yeah. Yeah, Acura's been strong at these endurance, the 57 and 86 cars. They're strong at these endurance races. And they have, like, the 86 and 57 this weekend. They have strong lineups. Like, for the example, the 57 have Joey Hand, Trent Hinman, and Misha Goikberg. The 86 have Shinya Mishimi, Matt McMurray, and Mario Farnbacher. Those are strong entries right there.
Right.
It's going to be close.
All right. So I think we have our predictions in 12 hours, 31 cars, 4 classes. It's going to be fun.
And one part on NBC. Yep. And the rest.
I have my streams lined up.
Yeah, and I'm going to be working. I could watch the first part, but I'm going to miss the end because I'm at work at the end of the race.
You have 2 more endurance races to cover. We're going to get into the 24H Series finale. The finale of the 24H Series. The 12 hours of Mugello.
This PDF is weird. It says created November 10th. We're November 9th. I don't know how that's possible. They really made an error, I could tell you that.
In Europe.
The date? Yeah, but
it's already November 10th. It's been November 10th since like 3 o'clock our time.
But this was made this morning when it was like about 7 a.m.
I'm going to pick this up here. The 24H Series season concludes at the 12 hours of Mugello. A race that was supposed to be in the Netherlands and Zandvoort, but that wasn't to be.
Yeah.
It's the 6th and final race of the 24-hour series, 24H Series season. The championship doesn't really matter too much this year because there are a lot of comers and goers with teams that just find the funding to stay. And plus, this is like a series for up and coming teams. The drivers of tomorrow in endurance racing get a lot of seat time here.
Yeah.
The superstars, they're there for like the 24 hours of Dubai and other events. All right, so the classes here, GT3.
Oh, there's only one 991, and in that class, there's 3 GT4s in the GT4 class. TCR has 6 TCR cars entered, 2 TCX cars in their class. Yeah. So you have GT4, 991, TCR, and GT3. Those are and TCX.
How many TCX? 2?
Yeah, 2.
I think there's like a few prototype put together entries that are supposed to be in the race. I don't know if they're there or not, but
I don't see them. I only see 9.
Then that's cool.
There's
I know they would be racing next year too.
Yeah.
Maybe in their own series. That's the goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there's only 991, so the 991 we know who's going to win that class.
They could win overall. They did that in 16 hours of Hockenheim Ring.
Well, we'll see what happens because there's a lot of GT3s, including the 85 as a strong lineup. The 85 has a strong lineup. The 58, the 91 and 92 Porsche Herbert Motorsports cars. They're strong lineups I'm seeing right now.
Drivers, however, aren't your usual pairs because of these conflicts that happened this weekend with Sebring and Le Castel and, of course, Bahrain. So this is actually a door open for some of these drivers here. But I think we're going to see some interesting racing possibly. It's a 2-part race. So if you're not familiar with the 24H series and what a 2-part race is that yes, it's a 12-hour race.
But
part 1 and part 2 are separate races. So it's a 6-hour race, and then they continue on with the same timing and scoring for the last 6 hours.
Yes.
All right, so let's make our predictions. We'll start off with the GT3 class, which they'll possibly go for the overall win.
Will a GT3
car win overall, or could we see that 991 Porsche do it?
For me, I got a GT3 winning overall, but my pick is the family, the number 58, which is all the Gosner family with Thomas Gosner, Karina Gosner, David Gosner, and Manuela Gosner. So I picked the family. They're gonna win.
Yes, and they brought a Mercedes for MP Racing, number 58.
Yep.
In that class, and I mean, it is a true family if you think about it. Like the 58 car, Manuela Gosner, sister Karina Gosner, and I think Thomas Gosner is the father.
Yeah, and then they have David Gosner, which is a brother.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a family.
Right. So I have a feeling that's gonna propel them to win, but don't look too far from them. I'm looking at number 85. There's another Mercedes here. Number 85. This is a trio of veterans that could have retired a long time ago. They, a lot of the drivers they began racing against are long past the end of their careers. That is the number 85 CP Racing Mercedes of Charles Putman, Charles Espinlaub, and Shane Lewis. It's an American team with American drivers. If you watch Grand Am in the past, they definitely come to mind here. I mean, Herbert Motorsport could win, but I just don't know about the driver lineups. That could be the one thing setting them back. What's this? Yes, the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. They are part of the GT3 class as a Lithuanian team. RD Science Racing Team. All right. So obviously the 991 class is only one car. It's the number 978 speed lever Porsche 991 Cup car. GT4 class has only 3 entries. Who's going to win that category?
The GT4? Okay, GT4, I have the number 473 EBI Motors entry of Alexandra Curtera. I don't know why there's a person named LMDV. I don't know why there's a person with that name. Interesting. Marco Talarico and Marco Frieza. Yeah, the number 473.
All right, so that category I'm going to go with, I think, you have 4 drivers.
Yeah.
Maybe that means you have more driver changes for pit stop. And compared to 3 other cars in the category, the only Porsche came in there. Then you have a Aston Martin and a BMW.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Aston Martin here. Number 401 Pro Sport Racing Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT4, driven by Rodrigue Gilliland and Nico Verdon. The 2 Belgian drivers in the German team with a British car. That is all the irony here. TCR class, very present as usual. The touring car category, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 cars.
So I'm gonna leave you with making this prediction, Justin. You go first.
Okay, my pick is the number. My pick's the number 1 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing entry of Constant Kletzer, Jasmine Presig, Philippe Hangnauer, Stefan Tanner, and Yannick Mettler in their Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR DSG.
Autodrome Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing has been very good in these last few races, I've noticed.
Yeah.
The number 1 versus I know they have other entries as well.
112.
112.
Yeah.
You got Golfs, the Cooper TCR. A lot of Coopers in this one. 1 Audi RS3.
Yeah.
So for this class, I'm going to make a prediction. Now, you pick the 1 car. I'm going to pick the 112 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing, Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR ESG. These drivers, Alberto Vescovi Yannick Mettler, Roberto Ferri, and Nicholas Bourne. 2 Swiss drivers, 2 Italians, Swiss team, German car, German team. Oh, Swiss team.
Yeah, I was supposed to say German and Italian.
Of course. You can tell when it's getting late, Justin.
Yeah.
And lastly, the TCX category, same kind of deal with touring cars. Just 2 cars in this class. It's down to a Ligier JS2R, the Nordschleife Racing number 226, or the JR Motorsport number 703 BMW. So we got a French team versus a Dutch team, 3 drivers versus 2 drivers. Who wins this category?
I have the number 226 Nordschleife Racing entry driven by Guillaume Roman, Daniel Wazinski, and Mathieu Santiz.
All right, I'll go with number 703, JR Motorsport. No, not the JR Motorsports team in NASCAR.
No, Dale Jr.
This is a Dutch team.
Yeah,
William Mahir and Ted Van Ville. They'll be in a BMW M3 E92. Yes, the car that you first drive in game, the BMW M3 in Need for Speed Most Wanted. All right, one more series to cover. Now, that's the final race for the, as I mentioned, for the 24H series in the GT series and the TCE series. There are 2 divisions meshed in one. The championships they're pretty obvious. Like, everything's all spread out due to the different entries that we see each year. And lastly, the GT World Challenge Europe finale. It is going to be held at Le Castellet, which is home of the Circuit Paul Ricard.
Yep.
A 6-hour race and a 1,000-kilometer event.
Yep.
It's the final race of the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance. Of the entry list.
Yep.
The championships, I believe they're also spread out as well.
Yeah. Oh, no. The Jets just scored a touchdown. Wow.
Big crowd noises. Cool. All right.
Okay. I already got my pick already.
Oh, yes. So the Pro-Am Cup. So the class that isn't listed is the main GT3 class that they're expected to go for the overall win. You'll have the Pro-Am class, the Am Cup, and Silver Cup. We'll start with the main category.
Wait, how can you tell that it's a main or not?
Scroll to the right.
Scroll to the right.
Yeah, the entry lister.
What? It won't let me scroll anywhere to the right.
It's on the bottom of the entry list.
Oh, there it is. So what's the overall class?
It's just not listed. It's just...
Oh, the thing that doesn't...
They all have the same power anyways, but...
But, like, Silver Cup, they have all those, but there's some that just says Pro-Am Cup and then nothing.
All right, so for the main overall category, I mean, any one of these guys can win overall, but it's going to be the number 12 GPX Racing Porsche 911 GT3R, driven by factory drivers Patrick Pile, Matthew Jaminet, and Matt Campbell. They sound like a lock to me.
Okay, my pick is another. My pick is I'm going with experience. My pick is the number 32 Belgian Audi Club Team WRT entry, driven by Dries Vanthoor, Christopher Mies, and Charles Wirtz. Yep.
So that's the main cup. Now the Pro-Am Cup, which is supposed to be like one notch lower than that.
Okay, the Pro-Am Cup.
I'm gonna I think it'll be this one. I'm just gonna make a good guess. The number 19 Orange 1 FFF Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo drivers. Look, Earhart, Phil Keen, and Hiroshi Hamaguchi.
Just looking. Just looking. Okay. For me, my pick for the Pro-Am Cup, I have the number. Oh, jeez, I gotta figure out this entry driven by. Wait. I gotta figure out where. Oh, my pick's the number 74. Ram Racing entry, driven by Riemann Vos, Martin Conrad, and Tom Onslow Cole.
All right. So in terms of the AM Cup, there's only one team. It is a Audi. No drivers. The number 26 St. Block Racing.
Yeah. So no drivers confirmed yet, and no, we're not driving in that.
Silver Cup is the last category here that we'll make predictions for. Now, there are more entries in that class.
I got my pick for that. My pick for Silver Cup's the number 90. 90 Mad Panda Motorsport entry driven by Ezekiel Perez Competent Pank and an unknown driver, and Patrick Assenheimer.
So you go for Mercedes. I'm going to look a little further here in the Silver Cup. More entries than not, especially since the 24 hours of Spa. I already picked the same team once. I'm not going to pick them twice. I'm going to go with the number 159, Garage 59 Racing, Aston Martin Racing, AMR GT3, Valentin Hasek, James Poole, Andrew Watson will win for that category in the final race of the GT World Challenge Endurance Euro.
Okay.
And I think that's it. We reached the end of this podcast.
Ooh. Yeah.
We'll be back for episode 85 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast when we recap the Turkish Grand Prix and all those endurance races that finish off 4 championships all at once. You don't usually see these kinds of conflicts in endurance racing. All the leagues, they do whatever they can not to make this happen, especially knowing how the drivers and teams they venture around for the big races. But this year, it's 2020, so you have to do 2020 things, and that's where we're at.
And there's people gonna say, and soon, yes, the podcasts will get shorter because less races. Yeah, so to let the people know, the podcasts will get shorter compared to like last season, like after NASCAR and all that, because NASCAR is the thing that takes up a lot of space sometimes. It's like last season after NASCAR finished, the podcast has kept getting shorter, and then when NASCAR came out, the podcast has got longer, just to let the people know.
All right, and we're going to sign off in this podcast. Justin, I forgot to mention happy birthday.
Thank you.
Your birthday, and
it
was last week. My birthday is this week.
Yep.
For my partners, Daniel Ford, Justin Hebert, I'm Joe Laney Pavlon. Have a good night.
Yep.
See you next week.
Yep.